With Black Ops 5, that's right, we're not going to call it Black Ops Gulf War anymore. Now, it still could end up being Black Ops Gulf War, but everybody is leaning heavy towards Black Ops 5. We know the reveal is coming in June, specifically June 9th, with its own Xbox showcase, and that is my birthday as well. Right around the corner, guys. I've actually debated, I'm debating right now, should we fire up the live stream here on the YouTube channel? The last time we did a live stream was when we took that old projector and we were trying to figure out what the next Call of Duty was. Should we fire up the live stream and live stream the showcase for the reveal of Black Ops 5? You let me know in the comment section. But today, that's not what this video is about. Leaks have been flying left and right. Not too long ago, I had someone reach out to me with a huge master list of what they believe to be every single weapon coming to the game. Every single weapon, complete with the in-universe gun names. So today, we're going to be doing a very, very long video. We're going to cover every single leaked weapon in Black Ops 5, and while I'm not going to reveal who sent this one to me, I will say, I do have a pretty high trust in this information. Now, once again, this is all subject to change, and it's all alleged. It is not confirmed by Treyarch or Call of Duty, so keep that in mind as we go over this. But you let me know in the comments what you think about the leak list. Spoiler alert, it is massive. Drop a like on this video if you guys are excited for Black Ops 5, and if you're excited for the return of Chaos to Call of Duty, which is in full swing, and I truly, truly appreciate every one of you, and let's get into this. We're going to start off with the assault rifles. The M4 carbine. Now, this will be the classic smaller variant of the M4 rifle. It will be referred to as the M4S in game. And just so we're all on the same page, I will be reading you guys the real-world gun names and their in-universe names on this list. So that way we all know what we're talking about. And if any of this ends up being true, we can refer back to this video and said, wow, we were right. We told you so. Now, I'm still holding out hope that Call of Duty will ditch the in-universe names soon and just go back to using the real-world gun names. But Black Ops 5 should be sticking with the trend of giving everything a new name. Thankfully, our leaker was able to send me both the real and the in-universe names, allegedly. And the first gun is the AR list is the M4 Carbine, and its in-universe name is the M4S. Next up is the AK-74. Yes, the AK-74 will be in the assault rifle category this time around, allegedly, and in the in-universe name will be the Cast-Off 74. Now, the last two Modern Warfare games have been building up the Cast-Off family of weapons, so it makes sense for this one to likely function like the AK-47 rifle in previous COD games, just a bit more updated and a bit more modernized. Before we move on, guys, if you get anything from G2A.com, use code CHAOS. Get yourself some cash back. The link is at the top of the description. Next up is the CETME Model L. That's the CETME Model L. You probably don't know that gun's name, but you definitely know the in-universe name, which is the Krig C. The Krig 6 was a popular choice in Black Ops Cold War, so it makes sense that another gun in the Krig family will show up in the sequel. Now, I'm expecting this gun to fill the same role the Krig 6 did in Black Ops Cold War, basically being that solid all-around rifle with a ton of customization. Next up, we have the AS Val. Now, after the Val-dominated Modern Warfare 2019, we should have known that it would become a staple of the COD franchise. The 2024 version of the Val will allegedly be called the VAP9, the VAP9. I kind of like that. It rolls off the tongue well. And it will feature a high fire rate, small default magazine, and an integrated suppressor. It's going to make it great for rushing objectives and keeping enemies off balance. The M16A2. The game will simply refer to this gun, allegedly, as the M16. I keep saying that, guys, because we have to cover our bases here. But it will be based on the real-world M16A2, which was officially adopted by the U.S. military back in 1983, not 1883, 1983. Now, compared to the original, the A2 variant had improved barrels for sustained fire, redesigned underbarrel that allowed for a grenade launcher, yay, adjusted rear sights, and a lot more. What I actually find interesting is that the M16 is going to be in the assault rifle category in this game instead of being in the battle rifle category, which seems to suggest it will be fully automatic instead of the 3-round burst that we're all used to, which, I mean, honestly, this will be more historically accurate, I guess. Most video games portray the M16 as a 3-round burst, but most versions of the weapon actually have a fire selector. This one makes me so happy. The Enfield L85, known in universe as the SA-87, this is going to be similar to the classic Enfield assault rifle from the original Black Ops, which if you know me, you know I have a very, very deep love for. I'm happy. I always thought that gun was super underrated. We talked about it in a video not too long ago, so I'm totally on board if it does come out, especially if we're going to have access to all the bells and whistles of the gunsmith system. Imagine what we could have done to the Black Ops version. The AR-18. The game will refer to this gun as the F-TAC Lite. Pretty interesting choice. The AR-18 was designed by Armalite as a follow-up to the AR-15's rifle, but it wasn't nearly as successful. And that was due to the fact that all the potential buyers were already using the AR-15 and the M16. They did not have much reason to switch over to the new model. It was also criticized for the wider shape, which made it a bit more awkward to use than its older brother. But it will be a new weapon for the COD series, which is always interesting. The Mendoza RM2. Known in-game simply as the R2, this rifle was designed in the late 1920s, similar to the classic bar rifle, so what you can expect is a slower rate of fire, a pretty bulky design, but hefty damage per shot to make up for the relatively small magazine. Should be one of those that fires slow, but hits like a truck. Think of a SCAR, if you will. And then finally on the assault rifle list, the SAR-80. The game will call this the SR-8, and the real-world version is a 5.56 rifle designed in Singapore that entered service in the mid-1980s. I keep going back to the 1800s. The real-world version fires at an even 600 rounds per minute, which is somewhat low by Call of Duty standards, so maybe it'll make up for it with accuracy. Maybe it'll be kind of like the ICR from previous Black Ops games. We'll see. Now let's jump over to the battle rifles. The SG-542. This is a Swiss rifle that's visually similar to the FN-FAL. It's been in service since 1977. The in-game version would allegedly be called the Liena 57. That's a weird name, I know, but hey, a leak's a leak. Then we have the SETME Model C. Remember the C-58 from Black Ops Cold War? Well, this is basically going to be that. In fact, it's going to be called, allegedly, the C-58 again, so expect basically the same thing you got from the latest version of the gun, the last version, with a few changes to make it more like a battle rifle and less like a standard AR. Also, bonus points if you stick around for the entire video and you do an actual count of how many times I say allegedly. The FN-FAL, referred to in-game as the TAC-F. It will be the classic semi-auto rifle, crazy killing potential, but low fire rate, and you'll have to learn the timing with it in order to be really effective on the battlefield. But as a longtime fan of the FAL, I'm perfectly okay with this coming back if it does. Even if they insist on giving it a stupid name, I don't care. I don't care, but I mean, I'm all for just bringing back the real-world gun names, but whatever. And the final one on the battle rifle list, the AEK 973. This will be another member of the Cast-Off family of weapons, specifically the Cast-Off 73. So think of a very high-powered rifle with a low rate of fire that kind of offsets it, and a battle rifle variant of the AK. I'm absolutely on board for that. Now it's time for the sub-machine guns, the SMGs. We'll start off with the Gepard PDW. It's another member of the in-universe Cast-Off family, will be referred to as the Cast-Off M, and the real-world PDW. It was an experimental weapon. Kind of looked like a mix between an AK and an Uzi, so this should be interesting. I go back to the, what was it, the PDW in Black Ops 2? Next up is the FAMAE SAF. The FAMAE SAF. This SMG was developed in Chile in the early 90s. Some variants are still in production to this day, and the alleged in-universe name will be the Raptor 9. Next up is the MP5. It's not a Call of Duty without an MP5, much like the last couple games. This version will probably, again, be called the Lockman Sub, presumably similar to all the other MP5s you use over the years. Probably going to be overpowered. We're going to move on. The SR2 Varesk, referred to as a VAP-2. This gun was actually developed in 2004, but it's seemingly being thrown in Black Ops 5 or Gulf War to help around the lineup. Now, to be fair, Call of Duty has always taken some artistic liberties with the year that guns started existing, and it's not like the Black Ops series has ever been totally historically accurate with weapons and multiplayer, so we just move on. The Imbel MD1 seems to be a FAL-based carbine. Saw limited production in the 80s in real life, but the game is allegedly going to call it the MD97L. No, don't really have much more on it, so we're going to keep going. The Grendel R31. It looks kind of goofy, but I like that Call of Duty still throws some goofy choices in to keep us on our toes. This game is supposedly going to call it the V-Car, or Vicar, whatever. I don't know. The SR3 Vicar. Now, the game allegedly calls this the VAP-3, and it's a Russian 9x39 compact rifle. It was based on the AS-VAL, but without the integrated suppressor, and it's obviously much more compact. The PP90. It's a little confusing because the PP90M1 was in the original Modern Warfare 3. It was a favorite. However, PP90 is an entirely different weapon that looks more like an FMG9. In fact, the in-universe name for this is allegedly going to be the FMG9. So it seems like Treyarch is taking some big artistic liberties here because the FMG9 is an actual gun that actually exists, but it seems like they're taking the PP90, which is a different gun that actually exists, and calling it the FMG9 in order to create some synergy with the Modern Warfare series. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I say the PP90 is back or the FMG9. And the final one in the SMG category, the Colt 9mm SMG. The game is referring to this as the AMR9, which already appeared in Warzone. So basically, expect the same thing from this. Compact weapon, decent fire rate, lots of customization. Hopefully it's not broken at launch. And no, you're not crazy. The AMR9 was also a weapon in Advanced Warfare. It was that 5-round burst SMG that was supposed to be awesome, but it ended up being terrible. But don't worry. I don't think this one's going to be a burst weapon. At least I hope not. Now we go to the shotties. The shotguns. The Mossberg 500, known in-game as the M500. This is your standard pump-action shotgun with a lot of potential for customization. And it actually saw action in the Gulf War in real life, so this makes sense. The Bullpup Mossberg 500, well, that one in-game allegedly is the OCP M500, but in real life, it's just a Bullpup variant of the Mossberg 500. So I'm not really quite sure how it's going to differ or if we're going to get both, but we'll see. The USAS 12. Who remembers this from the original Modern Warfare 3? I always thought this gun was super underrated, so I'm actually excited to see it back, even if Treyarch is renaming it to the Roku 360. The Roku? I mean, just call it the USAS 12. Maybe they will. Maybe we're all wrong. The Olympia. That's right. It's back. And guess what? Treyarch isn't changing the name for this one from what I heard. I'm okay with it. Classic double barrel under-over shotgun. I'm hoping it's better than the original Black Ops version because that version, let's all be honest with each other, it sucked. It was iconic and satisfying for sure, but that doesn't make it good. And last on the list today, but certainly not least in the shotgun category, the Remington Model 11. Semi-automatic shotgun. Have to have it, right? And the name is going to be the Super Short. I'm guessing this is going to be your weapon of choice if you're someone who abused the 205 Brecci back in Black Ops 3, or maybe it's going to be a sawed-off shotgun. We'll have to wait and see. LMGs, light machine guns. The AR-10. Now, it was a lot bigger than people realize, and Treyarch is seemingly putting it down in the LMG category under the name LRC-308. It's kind of interesting. We'll see. The PU-21. This was designed to be a replacement for the RPK, but the prototypes were never seen as being good enough to get the job done, and it never entered full production. Visually, kind of looks like a mix between the PKP and the RPK, but the game will call it the IP545. KSP-58, the Swedish LMG, absolute beast, designed in the 50s, weighing over 25 pounds unloaded. The Swedish Armed Forces still use it to this day, and this version that we'll see in Black Ops 5 allegedly will be called the SAW-H. Yes, the SAW. And last but not least, the KSP-58D. This is another variant of the KSP-58. Features some differences to the barrel length and fire rate, and the alleged name will be the SAW-L. So we have the SAW-H, and we have the SAW-L. Now we go over to the Marksman rifles. We have 6. The MK-12 SPR. This rifle didn't actually enter military service until 2022, but it seems Treyarch is putting it in the game as the MK-18. Very customizable DMR. While the real-life version is actually capable of full fire auto, I don't think that's going to be the way it is in the game. We'll have to see. It's a marksman rifle. IMI Romat, known in-game allegedly as the Cammers, C-A-M-R-S, variant of the FM FAL, pretty rare in real life. Looks like Treyarch may have done the research this time. The VSS Ventores, I like that name, known in-game as the VAP-M. We've got a couple VAPs here. The Ventores is basically a DMR version of the AS VAL, complete with an integrated suppressor. Now, have we ever had a marksman rifle with an integrated suppressor before? I feel like there was one in Ghost, but I can't remember. I don't think there, maybe there wasn't. The AEK-971. The Soviet rifle was designed in the late 70s, still being used today. The real-life version is standard assault rifle, but since it's in the marksman rifle category, it will likely be altered a bit to make it more appropriate for semi-auto use. The alleged in-game version will be called the Cast-Off 97, so we can add that to the list of cast-off weapons in Call of Duty universe. So the VAP and the Cast-Off family is growing. We have 2 left. SR-25. The marksman rifle that was designed by, guess what? Eugene Stoner. The same guy who designed the Stoner 63 LMG. It's been received extremely well over the years. The game will call it the Tempest Torrent, allegedly, but who remembers the Stoner in the original Black Ops? And last, the SG-550, another weapon that is a standard assault rifle in real life. So I'm not sure how Treyarch is planning on adjusting it to the marksman rifle category if they are, or why they would be allegedly renaming it the Liana 550, but whatever. We'll see. Now let's talk about snipers. The Dragunov. I know, it's coming back, allegedly. I have a long-standing vendetta against this gun, but at least Treyarch is naming it the Cast-Off M this time, allegedly. So I can just pretend it's not the Drag when I'm using it. I'm seriously, why? The PGM Ultima Ratio. French sniper rifle. First saw action in the year 2000. So again, artistic liberties being taken. It's okay. but will supposedly be called the Ratio P. I guess there's wiggle room there, but that's kind of a cool name. PGM Hakati 2, another French sniper rifle being referred to in-game as the Ratio H. So it seems Treyarch may be trying to establish this Ratio family of weapons as a new player in the COD universe. And last but not least, the L96A1, the best sniper in the original Black Ops, should be coming back again. It'll once again be called the LW3 Tundra, just like Black Ops Cold War. I'm good with that. Now, let's talk about handguns. USP9, referred to in-game as the ISP9, standard 9mm handgun. I don't have anything else to say. The USP45, presumably be a slightly beefier handgun since it's a high caliber, 45 versus 9mm, and the game will allegedly refer to it as the Lock 45. Nothing else to say. The Makarov, no, not the guy, the handgun. It appeared in the original Black Ops. It's returning this year as the Psychov, similar to what it was named in Modern Warfare 2019. Hopefully, it doesn't have an 80-round drum mag that goes with it. The Stechkin APS, that's hard to say. I've never heard of the gun before, but the in-universe name is allegedly the GP13 Auto, so I guess this is going to be your full auto pistol. You guys cool with that? Huh? The Grendel P30, kind of a goofy-looking 22 caliber handgun that can be as little as 5 inches long. Perhaps this is super weak, but extremely mobile. I don't know. You have to aim high in order to be effective, and they're supposedly renaming it to the Lock 30, so it's going to be in the same family as the Lockman Sub, aka the MP5, the 5.7. Been a minute since we had a 5.7 in a Call of Duty game, so I'm actually smiling to get this one back. The game refers to it as the TAC handheld. I'm assuming it'll have all the same advantages of the classic Black Ops 2 5.7, which was a really, really good gun. And last on the list of handguns, the Beretta M9. Just in case you want to feel like John McClane in Die Hard, there will indeed be an M9 in the game, and it's going to be called the Dianoli? I don't know. Last on the list, my friends, the launchers. We have a trio. The M72 Law, simply referred to as the Law. This will be your standard launcher, likely either be free-fired or locked on into a streak. The Panzerfaust 3, simply called the Panzerfaust in game. This will likely also be a free-fire or lock-on launcher, be nice for destroying streaks and clearing out objectives. And your FIM-92 Stinger, or the Stinger, likely be your lock-on launcher. It will be the best in its class for taking down streaks, but it will not be very helpful in ground battle since it can't be free-fired like the others. There we go. Now, I do want to reiterate, this is all alleged. None of this is confirmed. This could completely end up being wrong, and not one of these guns is in the game. That's definitely not going to happen, but I do want to put that out there. So, it's a subjective list, but we've got good feelings. You guys let me know which ones you agree with, which ones you don't agree with, which ones didn't make this list that you felt should have been there, and I'll see you guys soon.